We are in Monza at the moment. It's been raining all day, so we thought we'd come in the kitchen and cook a little bit. And now it's sunshine, and now we're wondering what the hell we're doing in the kitchen. But we are attempting to cook for everybody else.
Chef, how do you want the onions cut?
Make them brunoise and something mise en plus.
When I think about Monza, a lot of positive feelings come up. I think we had some really good races here. Actually, our first win, I think, like in 2020.
And as a result, Yannick still has to get a tattoo. So maybe the second one this time. So fingers crossed.
Welcome to Monza. For the last time this season, all teams have gathered to battle out the final result in the 2024 championship. With changeable weather and double points awarded in the upcoming 500-kilometer endurance race, the final showdown is set to be a dramatic one. Will it rain more or will it dry up? As race day begins, the right tyre choice and the adaptability of the drivers will play a key role.
Monza is a special thrill, for sure. That's all about high speed. As the name says, Temple of Speed. Used to be a high-speed oval, now it's a high-speed Grand Prix track. It's super cool, even though it seems simple with only a couple of corners. Just the sheer speed is an experience that, you know, is pretty nice. Going so close to the walls at high speeds, the car feels really light because you run low aero. What's also funny is that the shape of the track is basically like the Italian, you know, I don't even know how you say it, but if you're not happy with something, kick cats. You know? This kind of gesture.
The GT Open this year decided to make 2 endurance races. One was Spa earlier this year, and now this will be the second one that they do. Weather seems to be holding out today, so let's see if we can actually take off on slicks. It's a little bit damp. And basically we're going to work our way up through the pack. So we're putting Yannick in the car first. And hopefully within the first corner he's got them all.
So the goal for this weekend was to do well in the endurance format, because so far we didn't manage to. We sort of, you know, didn't really enjoy it in a way because we got pretty bad, I can say that. So the goal for this time is to actually stay in the mix longer, and if everything goes well, we should be, you know, in a decent spot at the end of the race and maybe fight for a podium even.
After a disappointing qualifying round, the CBRX team is gearing up with a bold strategy for today's race. With the track being half wet, Yannick Mettler will take the start, aiming to gain ground against the Pro-Am competitors. While most of the teams chose to start with their AM driver, this means that Dexter Muller will likely have to defend against pro drivers later on. It's a calculated approach, but we'll see if it pays off as the race unfolds.
And the International GT Open 500 is underway at Monza. Not a great start, it didn't look like by Simon Viker. It looks like the second motorsport car of Diego Menchaca is already trying to challenge for second place down into the Retafili.
What we're seeing here is Yannick coming, I think, into the first corner. I'm guessing it's right at the start because it's a big amount of cars. And there he is, gaining one position and taking advantage of slippery conditions. So coming into the first bend, I think Yannick's going right from the back, and he's trying to, you know, take advantage of weather conditions and, you know, his skill, that how good he is in mixed conditions. There's already 7 cars in 2 corners. So well done, Yannick. You took full advantage of all the AM drivers in the first corner.
So that is still stint 1, probably my favorite scene of the race, because I was fighting somebody who's, I think, a 400-time F1 Grand Prix starter, Rubens Barrichello. So it was quite an honor to even race him, and yeah, even a better feeling to pass him.
Oh, that's much better.
Okay.
Much more decent. And we're still watching Yannick. He's chasing down an Audi. The track is beginning to dry a little bit. He's going through what he likes to call a little bit touchy and rubbing his racing. But yeah, and he's made it into the Curva Grande. And the Audi has just probably not seen him. And has,
That's why he came over.
he did see you and he tried to block you, and so, okay. Now it's been touchy. And now Yannick has taken the inside line for the Segunda Variante. And he's taking the lead on that car.
Second stint that will be quite a sketchy situation down the main straight in a slipstream of two cars that are battling themselves, and the guy on the inside actually braked very early for some reason. So yeah, I was being careful not to crash into any of these, but then funny enough found a way through the middle of both of them and actually made it work to pass them both, which was quite funny actually.
The driver changes are not the most comfortable things if you're a man of my size. For Yannick it seems to be quite comfortable because he always forgets to loosen the seat belts and move the steering wheel inwards, which makes the gap a lot smaller to get into the car.
True, man.
It's absolutely true. Yeah, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. I got it. It's absolutely true. Okay, so I'm continuing to watch more videos. It's very exciting. This is me now. I'm probably on my first in up against the Mango Lambos, as Yannick calls them. Coming down the first one into corner one, and I was not willing to really give him the place. Oh no, I had to give him the place. But the one behind him wasn't so happy I didn't give him the place. So, it's not a very interesting thing. I got overtaken.
As the race goes on, the racing gets a bit more rough, let's say, and I'm very happy to see my teammate Dexter also doing some rubbing. So that's pretty cool. He left just enough room for the Audi that decided to squeeze in last minute. Pushed him a little wide, but actually that's some good racing. Fortunately, slipped off at the end a little bit, but you know, doesn't matter. And it's all about trying and not making life easy for the others. So, well done.
Okay, there's a picture. There's a video of me being overtaken by my sister car, actually, which I understand. I mean, Dominic Baumann is a good driver, but he was following me into the first corner, and I tried to let him pass to not lose a bit of time, and unfortunately he didn't get past me, and then I was in the wrong line, and then ended up going over a big bump, so I made myself look really stupid. Trying to give up a place, trying not to lose too much time, and then...
Who, him or you?
Me,
Oh.
me, I look stupid. Me, I look... I went to talk to him after the race. And then he was like, "What were you doing?" I was like, "Well, I got nervous because I thought you'd, take the line," and he didn't want it, and then basically I ended up going over a huge bump, and then spinning, and not really spinning, but tire spinning, and yeah, it was not my sexiest work.
That was actually the final lap where Jedlinski, I think it was, and McLaren crashed out into turn one. Quite a big hit. I hope he's okay. But it was a very bizarre situation because we passed them on track, but then crossed the line still behind them. So that was kind of weird. So we were sort of on the podium, but sort of not. And I think it has to do with the specific regulations of the 500 race. And I still don't understand why. But apparently we're behind them, even though they crashed out. So
the car that spun out had already completed the 500 kilometers. That was the base requirement for finishing the race. So even though the checkered flag came out after he crashed, he'd already had the 500 kilometers. And so he retained... He retained the podium, and we retained the fourth place, which is still good going. And 14th overall, so well done, Jeff.
Yep, checkered flag. Copy that. Good work, mate. Very shortly work this weekend. P4 in class. Not a bad comeback from where we started. Good work. Thanks a lot.
What a thrilling finale it was. Both drivers showcased an exceptional performance to finish 4th in the Pro-Am class, starting from the back of the grid. Their bold strategy allowed them to gain 12 positions throughout the race and even fought for a podium in the final stages. What a successful and enjoyable close to the GT Open season for the Swiss team.
I think in the end, I'm very happy with the results that we had. We had higher expectations, but I think given where we actually started and difficulties we had during qualifying, things like that, I have to say a very, very positive result. Yannick drove like an absolute beast. So hats off to you, mate. Yeah, I didn't do so badly myself. And so we took it home, we slammed it home at 4th, and I'm happy with that.
I think we had better seasons, but I'm happy with the progress. I'm happy with the fact that the second half of the season was a lot better. For some reason we struggled quite a bit after the initial race, and yeah, there were some tough ones in there. But we came back, we recovered, I think just before the summer break, and sort of turned it around, and started to become a lot of fun again. And yeah, super happy we could get 2 podiums and some very, very decent races and performances. So if you look at the second half only, I'm very happy.
Thank you, Yannick. That was awesome.
The full send is now over, unfortunately, because GT Open has come to an end. But there will be a little spicy little mini-series that happens in the next couple of months. But basically, these 2 dreamers, Yannick and I, we will be competing for Switzerland for the ass. I'm not allowed to say that, I think.
It's not wrong.
It's not wrong. We'll be competing for the ass. And yeah, so there'll be a little something in between so that our viewers, you guys enjoy the off-season a little bit. Something for you guys to watch. See you later.